Ask Tom on Home Show.
Sandy from Houston has a question about a dryer space.
She needs to vent, Tom. Okay. Sandy writes, the dryer install company used a long, flexible duct to connect my dryer. As you can see in this here picture that she sent us. Look at no hands. I'm not pushing any buttons. Seems too long to me and takes up too much space. So I need to be able to push the dryer back further in the small laundry room. What's the best way to connect a dryer to a vent in a short space like this, Tom?
This is a simple picture with it seems like a simple question, but there's a lot of elements in this. Number one is when you put a flexible hose on the back of a dryer to connect it to the wall, a person has to get behind there to do it. And that means the dryer has to be pulled out. So they need to be able to get out of behind the dryer and then push the unit in. That's why you'll find them long. If you think you can have a little short, straight one, it's impossible. There's no way anybody could get out of there. Secondly, if you look at that picture, there's a little jog in the wall. So they actually tried to create a little more space where the dryer was, because the washing machine is pretty close to the wall if you look at the top of the picture, but then it jogs out, and trying to give them a little more room. Now, here's the other thing. Where they have the exhaust is right where it comes out of the dryer, so you can't crimp that hose. If it was offset, it would be better, or then the more offset, the better it would be for you to get maybe an inch and a half, 2 inches more of the dryer going back. But that's really the way it is, because it's the only way you can hook that up. You push it back, you let the hose turn and go up on the top and then turn and go back into the wall. And so you don't have any choice there. They did their best for what they have to do. And if you look and take go to parties, visit your friends, and look behind their dryers, you'll see this more than something that is very tight. You very rarely see it tight because it's almost impossible to do unless you can get behind the dryer with the dryer in place. And in this case, and in most cases, those dryer spaces and the washer dryer spaces, I should say, are very tight with one another. So you have to pull the unit in and out for repair or for that hose right there. And if you push it too tight, you'll break it and then you'll have dust everywhere.
All right. Hey, bring up the picture of the thing again. I looked at this for the longest time when we first got this picture. And it wasn't until you were talking about that I realized we were looking down at it.
Yes.
I was thinking,
they're looking right
that's
down
kind of
from
cool
the
way
top
it's
down.
going across the wall and in there, but no, there's no okay.
No, and then they put it right almost equal to one another, and so it's just the way it's going to be. There's no way you're going to get it any closer without smashing that. And if you look right next to it, there's a gas line in there too. And if you push that, and I've seen this happen, if you push that flexible hose into that gas line, you will put a hole in that hose. It'll be a small hole, and you'll wonder why this dust is building up every few months all over there, is because a lot of it is just shooting right out. So that's the way it's going to be. They did nothing wrong. You're just going to have to live with that little bit, and you're only talking about a little bit of space where that dryer is out from the wall.
Well, I mean, and you wouldn't want the dryer flush up against the wall anyway, wouldn't you? Doesn't it need room?
Well, in your mind, people want to push the refrigerator and everything when they put it in the hole. They want to shove it all the way back, but you shouldn't even do that with a refrigerator because you have a water line coming out of it. You have a plug in the wall. There's a little space there, and you'd be surprised, Charlie. I've set toilets in homes, and the toilet's a little bit like a half an inch or an inch away from the wall, which I think is good for cleaning. People will complain that it's not jammed right against the wall. So people do have an idea sometimes that everything's supposed to be right against the wall, just like their couch, their TV, and everything else. And it doesn't work that way. A little space is good for painting, for cleaning, and just to get things moved around like this. You got to clean back there once in a while, I hope.
We had this, speaking of toilets, we had that problem in our house when we moved in, and we decided we weren't going to paint because they did this really nice faux finish in the bathroom that I like. Sandy hates, but we're keeping it because I like it.
Yes.
But anyway, it's one of those little flags I planted. I like this. We're keeping this. Anyway, we replaced the toilet. Different size toilet. Guess what? They didn't paint.
You see the outline of the tank, don't you?
We do. We do.
Yeah.
And now I'm still fighting to keep my faux finish. Anyway.
Well, get Rudy in there. He'll fix it for you.
I'm sure he will. So you got a question, go ahead and click on the blue Ask Tom button and send us your question by filling out this form. And then pictures too. The questions go in there and they come out here. and we answer your questions every day. We post a new one to our YouTube channel, Home Show Radio YouTube channel. I'm going to borrow some Prevagen from you after the show here today. Anyway, some...
I got a bottle.
Okay, yeah, I could probably use some. Anyway, and then, of course, you'll find a lot more at HomeShowRadio.com.